fast and affordable options for youth pastors, ministry leaders, and just overall busy people attempting to create great graphic design for free or for super cheap. And in this video, we are going to be exploring the world of Adobe. Not Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, or InDesign, but the free version of it called Adobe Express. Make sure you hang out for this entire video because we are going to be doing an on-screen tutorial. We'll be sharing the pricing and I will be doling out my final verdict between the three different platforms that we've been looking at in the past video in this playlist: PowerPoint versus Canva versus Adobe Express. Hey everybody, welcome to the Hybrid Ministry Show. Well, hey everyone, if you and I have not had a chance to meet before, my name is Nick Clayson. I am a 12-and-a-half-year youth ministry veteran, now located in the DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I'm on a mission to help make hybrid ministry, not just in-person and not just digital, but the melding of the two, easy, possible, and accessible for everyone in youth ministry or church ministry. And I believe that it is the wave of the future, and part of that is creating good and crisp and interesting and fun and relevant graphic design. However, if you're anything like me, you're busy. You have curriculum meeting and budget plannings, and you have meetings with your supervisor, your senior pastor. You have that parent who's kind of cranky and mad, and you have a teaching lesson that you have to prepare tonight. And yet still you need to somehow create graphics for series, graphics for events, graphics for upcoming missions trips or camps. And you don't know anything about graphics. You don't have any graphic design skills. Well, good news, this playlist is for you because in the last two videos, we looked at PowerPoint, we looked at Canva, and now we're looking at Adobe Express. And the reason that any of this is valuable, the reason that any of this even really matters is because Generation Z is spending more time on their smartphones than any other device combined. Meanwhile, they're also consuming social media at alarmingly high rates. For example, Gen Z and Alpha are spending 95% of Gen Z and Gen Alpha are spending time on YouTube alone. It is the most widely used social media platform that there is. And so digital, social, and online ministry matters, not as a replacement, but in addition to what we are also doing in the room. And part of that is design. So if you're interested in understanding what every youth ministry needs to do, which is create a robust, dynamic online presence, go ahead and check this card out right here where I share that. And make sure that you check out the Surefire resource link in the description to that video, which is my completely free 1-month posting tool for social media. But let's dive in and let's look at Adobe Express here on this episode of the Hybrid Ministry Show. All right, so Adobe Express is adobe.com/express. And if you go there, it will pull up this menu. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening, I will try and explain it my best just in the podcast feed. But if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see my screen here. And on Adobe Express or adobe.com/express, right across the top, there are different menu options. So the first menu option there is create. And you'll notice here, you'll see social media, and then it has all sorts of different social media options. So Instagram story, Instagram reels, post, TikTok video, Facebook story, etc. You got documents, posters, brochures, invitations, certificates, and then you also have marketing options like business cards, flyer, logo. Additionally, right here, you have a content scheduler. We're going to look at that in just a second. I'm going to open that in a different tab so I don't lose it right here. But if you continue across that menu here, you have your quick actions. You have remove background, resize image, convert to JPEG, PNG, SVG, crop, convert to GIF, trim video, resize video, create PDF, export PDF, combine PDF, that's actually really useful stuff because I usually have to do that just in PowerPoint. More templates, social media templates, marketing templates, documents, and then plans and offers. This is where you would explore pricing, pay for pricing, do all those types of things. And then finally, learn and explore. So tutorials, blogs, developers, partners, all those types of things. So this is just a quick overview of Adobe Express. But what I want to do now is I want to actually dive in and I want to create a graphic. Before we do that though, listen, I know we're just getting started, but I would love if you would like, rate, subscribe, maybe even share with a friend if you have gotten value so far in this video. And if not, hang out, because I am going to drop some more value, because what we're about to do right now is we're going to create a graphic on screen. I'm going to show you just how easy this is to do. So to hang out for that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I did want to see this scheduler. Full disclosure, I've never used this or opened this before, so I'm going to be exploring this with you for the very first time live here on screen. So here's a little, tutorial thing. But it looks like you can connect your socials. So you can connect your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, which is now called X. I don't know why no one's changing that anywhere. Pinterest, and then LinkedIn. So what you don't have is YouTube, and what you don't have is TikTok. I recommend YouTube as my #1 strategy for youth ministries and reaching teenagers. And so unfortunately that's not on here. I also recommend TikTok as my #2. So my top two aren't on here as far as schedulers, but if you're in the lane where you're not going to do if you're not going to do YouTube or TikTok, then this might be for you. So check this out. And what would be cool is you could actually create right here in Adobe Express and schedule right here in Adobe Express. So there's just something kind of fun, a little bonus tip for you. So here we go. Let's dive in to a live on-screen Adobe Express graphic tutorial. All right, so let's pretend that you have a dodgeball tournament, and let's just go with that as our event, and we're going to go ahead and create on screen a live dodgeball tutorial. And so what I'm going to be looking for is I am going to be looking for something that's going to work for my screen. So I'm looking for a widescreen idea. So let's see, we got different social media, different marketing. So let's go presentation, because that is going to be what we're going to be doing in our event. It's going to be on the screen, right? And so you have all these different sort of like pre-built tutorials. You can just see, you can explore them. And I'm just going to pick one here, sort of willy-nilly. But I think, actually, I think I'm going to start with a blank presentation. Completely blank, nothing going on here. Now, part of my problem is, right, I need to resize it. So I know it's going to be for the screen. So that's 1920 by 1080 and resize. There we go. It's resized. I can go over here. I can see different themes, right? And so like, yeah, I can choose an entire kind of like color scheme. And so let's see. One of these red ones is going to scream dodgeball to me. I don't love the green in that, because to me dodgeball is red. But let's see if I search red, if I can find something. There we go. Yeah, okay. All right. So now I got my theme, and I am going to add some media. And so let's search just in here and see what we can get. Get dodgeball. There we go. Boom. Let's see if I can remove the background on that somehow. Not sure what I just did there. I'm doing that. Oh, there it is right there. Right? Remove background. Boom. And it's thinking. And it's gone. Cool. Now, here's some different effects. Those are for different colors. Here's some different adjustments. I'm looking for like a drop shadow. I love me a drop shadow. Let's sharpen it, blur it. I can also animate it, which if I was doing this for like a website thing, I could animate it, or a social media thing, I could animate it. But for like a live on-screen graphic, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much value there's going to be to animating it, because it's just going to be on screen. I'm trying to find, like I said, oh, there we go, shadow. Yeah, I don't know if we're doing anything with this, but it says there's a shadow there. Don't know if that actually is. So anyway, there's that. We're going to switch our background color now, because it's kind of losing it there. So make it big, a little off screen. And then now I'm going to add a text and my text is going to say, oh, there it is. Oh, I got to add it right here. Dodge ball. We're going to just see what we're going to see what fonts we even have available here. I mean, look at all these right here. I also have this section right here called more fonts. I could check that out. But I'm looking for something big, bold, something that looks kind of like, there we go. That'll work. And do that. I'm going to give it a big old white outline. Some drop shadow. I always love me a good drop shadow. Changing the color of that to black. And all right, so dodgeball. I got that, and then I'm gonna add another text that just says tournament. That fill is gonna be white. No outline. I'm gonna make it like italic, but first I want a new kind of like font. I like that one a little bit. And pull that in on top of it, and boom, now we're done. So there you go. I'm not sure how long that was, probably 5-ish minutes, but you can see just how simple something like this was. And so when I'm done with it, now I'm ready. All I need to do, right? I got all my layers over here. I got the ball, I got the text. I can adjust them, right? Their order. So now I pulled that behind the dodgeball. So now it's behind the dodgeball if I need to do something like that. But I'm ready to go. And so I'm just going to hit download for PNG or for JPEG. Either one of those would work for your screen. And then you click download, and you're good to go. Right now it's in my downloads folder. And so I'll just take that, drop it in my presentation software. Boom, we got a slide for our dodgeball tournament. That's how quick, that's how simple Adobe Express is. So let's dive in the next section to pricing. All right, so you might be asking, okay, that looks like an amazing tool. Isn't it super expensive? And the answer is not really. So for free, for $0.00 a month, you get the free plan, which includes all the core features listed here. It's on the screen. You can read it, but you can explore Adobe Firefly powered features like text, image, text effects, features like drag and drop, import and enhance PDFs, thousands of professionally designed static and video templates and design elements, animation presets to add motion to text, photos, or design elements, a limited collection of royalty-free Adobe stock photos, all these other things. You can see that. You get all of that as well if you're willing to pay $9.99 a month. There's also a free trial, so feel free to check that out if that's something that you're interested in. But you get a little bit of an upgrade when you go, when you pay for it, obviously. So you get an entire collection of 195 million on-trend royalty-free Adobe stock collection photos, videos, and music, as opposed to just a limited one, as they say. You can also stay in sync with linked Photoshop and Illustrator assets if that is something that you're using. And here's the thing, if you are already an Adobe Creative Cloud subscriber or user, as I am, you already have access to the paid version. You have unlimited post scheduling to Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and more. You can do a brand kit with logos, colors, and fonts for consistency. Stay in sync, like I said, and libraries to organize, share your collections. You, in the free version, get access to 1,000 Adobe fonts. In the paid version, access to over 25,000 licensed Adobe fonts, plus 100 gigs of storage to keep 15 plus hours of video footage. So as you do, as in most cases, you have a little bit of a better, like option there with the paid version. If you are already an Adobe Creative Cloud user, or you work at a church that already has an Adobe Creative Cloud license, maybe you work in a big church and they have a marketing or communications department that is already paying for Adobe. Most bigger churches or most places that have a lot of graphic work to do are using Adobe Creative Cloud in some way, shape, or form, whether it's for video, whether it's for text, whether it's for logos, whatever the case might be. And so they might even be willing to share with you just a little spot on their membership so that you can get access to Adobe Express and you don't even need all the other things in the Adobe Creative Cloud suite. So that could be an option as well. If you're in a small church and you're like, I do not have the budget, they have the free version, so make sure that you go check that out. But in the next section, I'm going to be breaking down my verdict between PowerPoint, Canva, and now Adobe Express. Which one is the best and which one should you as a church ministry leader be using? All right, the verdict is in. PowerPoint versus Canva versus Adobe Express. Which one is it? Here's how I would rank them. Personally speaking, I still love PowerPoint. And then in my journey, you heard if you watched the first video in this playlist, my journey went from PowerPoint to Photoshop. So I love PowerPoint and I also love the Adobe Creative Cloud and everything within there. The one that I haven't used really at all because I was a PowerPoint user before Canva was big, and then I jumped over to Photoshop when Canva started like really taking a rise, and I never really spent my time on Canva. So I'm the least versed in Canva. However, I'm also not that well versed in Adobe Express. I'm going to tell you the truth. The tutorial I just did, that's like the second, maybe third graphic I've ever actually made in Adobe Express. So I was kind of putzing around in there too. It feels very much like Canva. Both of them feel very similar. But here's how I would rank them. I would probably rank, and it's going to differ based on everyone's context, but I think Canva is probably number one for me. Not personally, but just with knowing what I know and the features and the fact that every nonprofit has the option to get Canva Pro for 100% completely free. I think that has to be number one. I think number two for me, ironically, is probably going to be PowerPoint. I still think that has some of the most powerful features. And then third is going to be Adobe Express because I think you get the least for what you pay for. That being said, if you're in a church that has a subscription to Adobe but not Microsoft, then maybe Adobe would jump in front of Microsoft for you, or vice versa, because we talked in the very first episode that maybe you don't have access to a paid version of PowerPoint and you can use Google Slides. Google Slides is fourth on my list. It's probably the least powerful of all of the tools. But my point in sharing all of this is that every single one of these is free, has a free version, or is very, very cheap, and they are not requiring you to jump on a massively big learning curve like Adobe Photoshop or any of the things in the Adobe Creative Cloud to learn them because they're just so different than what you're used to. PowerPoint, Canva, and Express are all relatively easy with relatively easy interfaces, and you can figure it out, and it's not going to make you spend a lot of time or make you spend a lot of your resources to use it. But the last little hack that I have for you in this 4-part playlist series is the Instagram Stories editor. So that is going to be our next video. It's linked here on screen. Make sure that you check that out. Before you do, hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell button if you found this video helpful, because we will talk to you next time, making digital discipleship easy, possible, and accessible. Don't forget to stay hybrid.